Alright, welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Rob Rodriguez. Now, I can imagine the huge fan bases of movies who they probably saw said movie about 50 plus times. Let's say they're playing a TV edit of that movie on, I don't know, FX. That will really disappoint a huge fan base with the most important scenes cut out. Now, will it, ladies and gentlemen? Now, let's say a movie is rated R. Somehow, the FCC allows that movie to play as long as it's simplified to at least a TV-14 rating. Now, you really don't understand how much you can get away with in a TV-14. Like, just one slip off the thin ice you're on, and then boom, you're a TV-MA rating. Now, the main way you can get away with being as dirty as you want in a TV-14 TV-MA rating is a method known as censorship. Now, for those of you who don't know what censorship is, I don't have a clue what censorship is. I don't have a taco-loving clue what censorship is. Why don't you just give me a minute? Now, I'm sure by now, almost everybody who owns a TV or computer has seen this commercial. Basically, if you're old school, you'll read an article about, let's say your product is Amazon Prime. Now, you would read an article, but for those of you who aren't necessarily readers, you want to see a commercial or at least a YouTube video explaining it. This commercial is basically the eye strain of watching an article or reading a video. Alright, well, next on the show, usually I don't welcome feedback that much. Like, I'm really against people giving me what they like to call honest criticism, because it's still criticism if you think about it. But for some reason, while I was off, and by the way, the show's 9 months old. Okay, so while I was off, I started asking people questions on what they would like to see me do on the show. It did not turn out that good, to be honest with you. So, please join me in my journey through feedback. In formal comedy, I can give people things they would like to know about.
Well, I don't want to hear information. I want to hear gaming, awesomeness.
Alright, you know what? Here's $10, kid.
Thanks, nerd.
Yeah, just to let you know, I don't usually condone bribery, but kids listen to money, you know. Now, for those of you who aren't really familiar with the whole concept of Paraphrasing Rainbow, it's an old PBS show called Reading Rainbow, basically, only I'm making stuff up on the top of my head. This is Paraphrasing Rainbow. The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein, remembered by Rob Rodriguez, and requested by one of his good friends, who happens to be going to college but has a heart for children's books. So basically, it's a story about a kid who mooches off his friend every 20 years. Remember, the moral of the story is, okay, there is no moral. I mean, it's just a children's book with a terrible message. Speaking of which, I must mention the funniest thing I've ever heard. I really like how the child's mind thinks. Like, this is probably the winning example of a story summary for The Cat in the Hat, which is Paraphrasing Rainbow we did a few months ago. So, I heard the story that a kid thinks the cat is an imaginary friend. That's pretty funny, if you think about it. And then it just stirs up an argument of, is the cat like a figure for something? Like, is it to clean up what really happened? Did the cat rob those kids and they retold the story as a giant anthropomorphic cat was there? Discuss with your friend or by yourself or in the comment section below. Well, that's the show this week. Until next time, hasta la vista.